I'm running out of creative things to say right here. Some of these articles were kind of supposed to be short, but then I got to writing them and turned out a lot longer than I expected. So this one might be a little longer than my past couple weeks of news videos, but that's okay. I logged on to Steam yesterday and saw that Hitman had an update, but it wasn't the next episode. Actually, it was 2 bonus episodes. Sort of. They take place in 2 of the locations already released, Sapienza and Marrakesh. I don't know how they managed to make the update 10 gigabytes in size if they didn't have to make a new map. But there was a lot of crap in the Sapienza mission, so that probably did it. I had no idea this was coming, but I haven't really been following Hitman, so it could have been announced a while ago and I just never knew. These bonuses are only available to people who have purchased a full game, so only having episode 1 isn't enough. For no reason, I'd like to point out, while I was recording this video last night, I was standing next to a pipe waiting to climb up it. Then some guy walked up next to me and started peeing on the wall as if I wasn't there. And to make matters worse, immediately when he was done, he went to rest next to a clearly unoccupied porta potty. This game has such lively and accurate AI in it. Speaking of episodic games, Life is Strange Episode 1 is going to be free from tomorrow on, and with that, the Season Pass, as they call it, is probably going to have a price drop because that would make sense. And they also released a new trailer for it. It's nice that Don't Nod is doing this because the writing in Life is Strange is eccentric, and getting rid of the $5 barrier to entry will allow people to see if they will end up liking it. It's going to be free on July 21, so depending on when you're watching this, it's probably already free, so go check it out. No Man's Sky is most likely going to release on August 9, 10, and 12, but a big issue it has is people know very little about the game. Well, Hello Games is going to try to change that by releasing 4 Guides to the Galaxy videos in which they explain more about the game. Currently there is only 1 out right now, and I assume they will release 1 a week until the game is released. Video 1 showcases some of the exploring there is in the game. The next few videos are going to be about trading, combat, and survival, and will hopefully explain more about the game. Here's the problem I have with this first video. It shows me nothing. At least nothing new that I haven't already seen multiple times in every video about this game already. The article I read said Hello Games are hesitant to go into a lot of detail, so I don't know if those are the words of the developers or just the article writer, but it definitely seems that way, which is not good. If you are worried about going into detail about your game, which is releasing in 3 weeks by the way, it makes it sound like an excuse because you don't have much going for your game. I feel like these videos should have been released many weeks ago, not leading up to the release of the game. Anytime I bring up No Man's Sky, I'm always criticizing it, and that's not because I think it's going to be bad or I want it to be bad. It's just frustrating because I think it looks and sounds like a really good and fun concept, but the information out there is not doing anything to advertise the game to me. Speaking of gameplay videos, new gameplay footage of Modern Warfare Remastered is out now. It shows the entire mission of Crew Expendable. They do all the things necessary in tech demo pieces, where the player uses really slow and smooth camera movements where possible in order to show off how good their game looks now. But that's really it. If you want to watch for yourself, go ahead. I probably am not using video right here, or at least very short clips, because I want to avoid content ID match. This is a fairly long topic, and I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail because it involves some legal issues that I probably don't know much or anything about. CSGO gambling websites have been in the news a lot recently for various reasons, but now they are in the news because Valve is actually doing something about it. Valve has never had any direct affiliation with any kind of gambling site. The sites only used Steam's API to access users' inventories. Through that, they were able to do whatever they wanted with the skins. Valve has known about these websites for a while and didn't necessarily condone them, but they never did anything about them, at least until now. Who knows what the exact reason for it is, but I and other people assume that it has something to do with bad publicity. Like I said earlier, CSGO gambling sites have been in the news a lot recently due to many different shady operations, whether it being non-disclosure when promoting their own site or rigging the odds in their favor. There were many different illegal things happening, all that having to do with Valve's game. Even though it isn't directly their fault, people still accuse Valve for allowing this to go on in their game. So now that these sites might be hurting their game and their community, it's time to crack down on them. Maybe not all of these gambling sites are illegal, but I guess better to be safe than sorry and shut them all down. Slowly, the various gambling sites are shutting down and allowing the users to retrieve their skins before they lose them. So if you have anything invested in any of these sites, you might want to hurry. I want to make this Overwatch news quick, so I will go into very little detail. Blizzard has released their newest hero. Her name is Ana. She is a support sniper because shooting your teammates should definitely heal them. There have been buffs to D.Va and Zenyatta, and competitive mode now only allows one of the same hero per team. So no more hero stacking. If you want to do that, you will have to stick with quick play, quick match, one or the other. Nostalgia is a powerful thing, and everyone wants to jump on that. Nintendo is next in line with their Mini NES, and is pretty similar to what it sounds like. It's an NES, and it's mini. It launches November 11, priced at $60. It contains 30 classic NES games and plugs into your TV with an HDMI cable. It sounds weird saying you have to plug in an NES with an HDMI cable, but the real question is, does it even have uncompressed pixels? Because I only want the highest quality pixels when I play my 30-year-old console.
We can render fully uncompressed pixels.
One of the exclusive benefits to this versus the original is that the games have multiple suspend points, which I'm assuming are checkpoints/save points, so it's nice to not have to start over or write down codes. But it isn't sounding like you will be able to buy more games for this. You get the 30 it comes with, and you'll have to enjoy those until the end of time. You may buy a second controller and play 2-player games, and are also able to connect the NES controllers to a Wii and Wii U to play virtual console games on those. I think it was Jim Sterling who made this comparison, but this is literally one of those old plug-and-play, no-console-needed games that you used to be able to buy at the store. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people will buy these just so they can say that they have it, when they just use it for decoration. I'm sure they will play it, but probably not for long. I know when I go back and play old games that I used to play as a kid, it isn't uncommon for me to realize that they aren't very good. In fact, my last 2 episodes of Flashback Games, I had that realization. One thing Nintendo needs to do with this that developers really haven't had to worry about for years is these games have to work. This doesn't have internet connection, so no day one patch for Nintendo. I don't think this will be a problem because these games are probably going to be released as close to their original form as possible, but they are adding things like game saves to games that never really had any, so there might be some issues there. Nevertheless, it all seems pretty cool. You can see the full list of games in one of the articles in the description and decide for yourself if it's worth it. I want to add that one of the articles I read said that this uses USB for power, so there might be a possibility that you will be able to download games onto your computer and then transfer it directly to the console, but this is all just speculation and it could be completely false. This isn't news, but I want to say that last week when I talked about the GTA Redux mod. I talked about how the website was down. Yeah, it's still down, and now it doesn't even have an estimated day to be back up. It's not that big of a problem because the mod isn't set to release until sort of late August, but I'm just saying, it's not doing too well right now. Usually I briefly talk about a few articles that just didn't make it in, but I kind of decided to throw those minor articles into this just to extend the length. So I guess I don't really have anything to talk about. Polygon still has a bunch of articles about Pokemon Go, so I had to sift through all that garbage. But as usual, I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to rate the video as you see fit. Check the description for the news articles and some of the videos that I used in this. Some of the news articles I had to shorten a lot, like the Overwatch and CSGO gambling stuff. So if you want to read up on that, get actual information on it, then go ahead. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you want weekly news stuff, primarily about video games.